Well, hello everybody. So my name is Shannon Griffith. I am 38 years old and I am located in Dayton, Ohio, United States of America, where us women are allowed to talk. So I will be talking. You guys don't like it, you don't have to watch me. I'm not forcing anyone to be here. Anyway, I have dealt with my fair share of physical, sexual, and mental abuse. And I know how it can affect people. It can affect people negatively to the point where they feel like they have to hurt people to feel better about themselves. Or it can affect people like me who have really big hearts and actually care, to post videos like I'm doing and spreading the word about how important it is to be kind to each other. Mostly because some of these abuses, like especially mental abuse, where you know you're getting into somebody's head to make them feel worthless or whatever the case may be. Some of you may have experienced this with a loved one, where they talk about committing suicide or where they actually do it because they feel worthless and they feel like nobody cares. So anyway, what makes me entitled to be able to post these videos? My experience. Has nothing to do with my occupation or anything like that, or the fact that I'm definitely not a therapist, but you know, we can all actually be teachers based off of our own experiences, but it's up to each one of us to be willing to share some of those experiences to help influence others to continue to do better in their lives and treat each other better. So anyway, some of us, like myself, was born with very big, caring hearts. You know, and stupid me, of course, I was thinking, oh, maybe all this love was meant for a guy. And then I realized, finally, no. Half of the guys that I was even remotely interested in didn't deserve what I had to offer. You guys, a lot of people think that having money or having a nice car or a nice job or even a roof over their head means that they have something to offer. No. What about what's on the inside of somebody? The love, the care they have for people, the empathy, all of that. Why does that not matter anymore? The loyalty, the never giving up on those you care about, or trying to fight for somebody to be in your life. Instead, people want to look at that type of stuff like harassment now, or they even try to turn you into the police for that anymore. They used to look at that as romantic, and man, the times have changed these days. So, you know, people take my kindness and what I have in my heart the wrong way. So anyway, here's how it goes. Have you ever been abused or neglected somehow in your life, and has it turned you bitter? Obviously, it's turned a lot of you bitter. I can tell that by the lack of support on this, the hatred I'm getting on my feedback, which is fine. You guys are continuing to motivate me to keep going. So go ahead and tell me how you feel, because I actually care. So, and that's been a downfall and a gift, I guess, if you will, for me. But now, do I have any friends to be able to vouch for that? No, not really. Does that make me a loser? No. Because honestly, now that I have learned, I prefer to be by myself. leaves me less chances of being hurt, less chances of being abused, less chances of being taken advantage of, used, lied to, all of that. Or has your pain turned you into somebody like me who's got a real heavy heart and wants to make a positive difference in the world, like what I'm doing here as far as posting these videos to spread the love and show people that love can win if we all work together. A lot of us have got to pull our heads out of our butts, guys. Seriously, you're no better than the person next to you. I don't care if you have a good job or a lot of money. All of that can be taken away from you in a heartbeat. A nice car, a nice house. What happens if a natural disaster occurs? You lose your house because of a tornado or a flood or whatever the case may be. Anything is possible. Think about the Twin Towers on 9/11. Were we expecting a terrorist attack to happen and for planes to come crashing in and knocking those down? No, that could happen anywhere. Just so you know. What about the California fires from the forest fires? Think about all the celebrities who had to deal with that. And they've got really decent jobs, obviously. They're celebrities. Okay, anyway. So others may have hurt you in the past, but that doesn't mean that the people you choose to be mean to have hurt you. They don't deserve the pain you put them through just because you've been hurt in the past. You need to work on your issues, just like I had to work on mine. Everybody else has to work on theirs. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So why be so hateful? Make you feel strong because you're hiding your insecurities and you're afraid to be vulnerable? Whatever. Okay. So yeah, some of us were born with a very sensitive, caring heart, like myself. Does that make us weak or childish? No. It just means that we care more and we try to treat others the way we want to be treated. To avoid conflict and not standing up for ourselves because we don't want to say anything out of hurt or anger just because we have been hurt. That might hurt somebody else, especially somebody else who doesn't deserve it because they're not the ones who hurt you. So then in turn we end up keeping things bottled up. Eventually it eats us up because we feel like nobody really cares. And people like myself, yes, I have thought about suicide before. Does that make me crazy? No. No, it just means that I was tired of being taken advantage of, and I didn't have the heart to stand up for myself to our haters, because we feel like that if we have feelings, then others do too, and we don't want to hurt them by expressing our feelings and say things that we might regret. One big thing that we all have in common that a lot of people tend to forget, we are all human. We are different in certain ways. We're built differently. We look different. We have different beliefs, different thoughts, different feelings for some of us, deeper than others. But that just makes us human, right? So, but we've all been through something that has also made us into the people that we are today. But it's up to each of us to handle our situations. And this is how I'm handling mine. Spreading the word that just being kind to each other is so important. Stop abusing each other mentally, physically, sexually. All of it goes hand in hand. Look in the mirror. Are you happy with yourself? If not, then take the time to self-reflect. Create goals on bettering yourself and stop hurting others that have done nothing to you, but maybe try to like you, or nothing at all for that matter. A little kindness can go a long way. The next video I'll post will have to do with mental abuse. A lot of us don't even realize we're doing it to each other. I'll discuss name calling. I'll discuss, belittling each other instead of teaching each other. Even criticism can be considered mental abuse. You don't believe me? Do your research. Look it up on Google like I did. And let me know what you think. By the way, as I stated before in the beginning of this video, I am not forcing anybody to be here. But those of you that want the truth, here you go. But don't sit there and be hypocritical. I mean, we're all hypocrites. I am too. But it's also important to be self-aware. Catch yourself, catch yourself and then work on bettering yourself. But don't sit there and belittle each other just because you're unhappy with yourself. Thank you again for your time and your support. I am doing these 15-minute videos because apparently, even though YouTube says I have 56 followers, I still can't go live for whatever reason, which is fine. I would much rather not go live than get rudely interrupted while I'm doing this anyway. And then as far as me not being a loser for not having any friends, like I said, I would prefer it that way, honestly. Do I miss having a companion with somebody? Do I miss caring about somebody? Yeah, I do. But I also want it reciprocated. I want the feeling to be mutual. I don't want to feel like I have to be the one making the effort. People also need to learn to communicate better because honestly, in my mind, and maybe a few others, technology has taken over this world so bad. And nobody knows how to communicate or fix problems with each other anymore. They just want to get the police involved instead of being adults, as they claim to be, and trying to work things out. I mean, heck, you don't even have to work things out with somebody to stay friends with them. You can just say, hey, I'm sorry for how I treated you, and then usually that's pretty good enough. But ignoring each other, blowing each other off, life is way too short, and I will never understand the abandonment that people put each other through. But anyway, that's a whole other topic for another day. Like I said, this was just me introducing myself, explaining what I'm going to be doing here. Like I said, the next video will be on mental abuse. Thank you and stay tuned, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a wonderful day.